If you've ever looked at a crochet stitch and thought, that's either pure genius or full-on stitch sorcery, yep, you've just found it. This wild little hexagon stitch, it's dramatic, it's deceptive, and I'm not gonna lie, it's not for the faint of hook. What's the wildest stitch you've ever tangled with? Did it leave you proud? Or slightly traumatized? Drop your war stories in the comments. Hi crochet friends, I'm Mo, your crochet companion. Today we're diving into the hexagon stitch, a bold combo of fans and puff clusters that give you a lacy, dimensional texture that practically dares you to crochet it. I'll show you the trick to keep your puff stitches even, how to stop your fans from flopping. Well, they don't really flop, and I'll give you some more tips on everything as we crochet through it. And later, I'll tell you on why I call this stitch the Winking Hex. Trust me, it's earned. All right, so what you are going to need. And just so you guys are aware, this is probably not going to be a beginner-friendly video. So if you do not know your basics like the single crochet, the double crochet, chains, I would recommend stopping the video and going to find my beginner videos because those are going to be very helpful for you. Now, you are going to need your yarn and hook of your choice. I'm actually using the G hook. You can probably use an H hook. I'm also using a worsted weight yarn. You can use any color you choose. You're going to need a solid grip on puff stitches, clusters, or working multiple stitches in one space. Maybe even a coffee, maybe a margarita. I won't judge. What we're going to cover. I'm going to basically do the first, I'd say the first 5 rows with you because you will be doing these on repeat. So we're going to go over that. We're going to go over how to place your puffs for the perfect lacy hex. This is a fan plus puff. Well, actually technically a cluster equals magic and possible sorcery. How to avoid turning your hex into a circle of sadness. So you'll get those tips throughout the video as I crochet. I'm not going to go and break them down one by one at the end of the video or anything like that. So to start this, you're going to do a foundation chain. I'm sorry, no single crochet foundation row or double crochet foundation row. That's actually not going to work for this particular stitch. So how it works is you'll start with a chain in multiples of 8 plus 2. So technically it's plus 1, but with your turning chain, when you want to start, it needs to be plus 1 turning chain. So I say 8 plus multiple of 8s plus 2. So you are going to want to plan accordingly. No shortcuts here. All right, let's break it down row by row so it doesn't break you first. So we're going to do the chaining start, which, like I said, it is a multiple of 8. So I'm actually going to do 3 multiples of 8. So that's what, 24. I was just doing math in my head real quick. But I'm just going to do it one by one here. Oh, I got too many things going on here in the background. So, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then plus 1 plus your chaining turn. Okay, so row run, this is our base, a solid row of fans that lays the foundation for all the puff-fueled drama to come. Think of this as the prime and proper base, prim and proper base before things get wild. Yeah, I know how to talk. Really, I do. Oh, I'm having one of those days, I guess. I just don't know the difference between prime and prim. So we're going to start off with the single crochet in the second chain from your hook. Okay. Simple enough, right? We're going to go in a little bit closer here. We are going to skip 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next chain. So there's 1, 2, 3. And you guys are welcome to tell me if I am going too fast. I can certainly slow down. If I'm using the wrong color yarn, tell me, hey, I need a better yarn. Can you use something darker, lighter, whatever it is? Just let me know. I love constructive criticism. What I don't like is when I get a one-word message that I have no idea what to do with. So, all right, so let's go with 1. We're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is one of my tips here. So we are actually going to be working on both sides of this chain eventually. Not right now, but we are going to. So because of that, I would recommend crocheting in the back hump of your chain. So we're going to chain we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook in the back hump. So there's 1, and we're going to do it in the next 4. 2, 3, 4. All right, and just so you guys know, I actually learned this just a few hours ago myself, just by reading a pattern. If you don't know how to read a pattern, I would highly recommend watching my video about reading a pattern, learning how to do so. And that's how I did. So you are learning what I just learned just a couple hours ago. So we're going to take that, and in the same stitch that we did those first 3 double crochets, we're going to do another 3 double crochets. So there's 1. Oh, that was a wonky one. So let's try that again. There's 1. Two. And 3. Okay, so now that we've got the first 3, so we skipped 3 chains, we did 3 double crochets, we did 5 chains, and then we did 4 single crochets in those 5 chains. We did another 3 double crochets, and then we're going to skip 3 chains on our foundation chain. So there's 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a single crochet in that stitch, that next stitch. 1, 2, 3, yep, in the next stitch. Then we're going to skip another 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do that whole thing that we did in that first set all over again. So we're going to do 3 double crochets, a chain of 5, 4 single crochets, and then another 3 double crochets, all in the same stitch. So there's 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I guess I shouldn't exclude a beginner because I was trying to tackle stuff like this when I was a beginner. So by all means, if you want to tackle this, come right on in. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to do those 3 more double crochets in the same stitch. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And I would highly recommend taking a note of where I'm at on these. I think I will also mark them as labels or chapters because you'll want to come back to these because these are going to be the rows that you're repeating. You'll be repeating rows 2 through 5 throughout the entire process. So, all right, so now we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets, a chain of 5, 4 single crochets in that same chain of 5, and then 3 double crochets in that same chain space. So we're on the 3rd double crochet, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crocheting in the back hump, we're going to do a single crochet and the next 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to do 3 more double crochets in that same chain that we worked in previously. All right, so there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to end our row on a single crochet. There you have it. There is the first row. I'll give it a minute to take a look at it. It kind of looks like a very strange looking thing, right? Okay, on to row 2. So row 2, this row adds the puff clusters. I actually just call them clusters between those fans, giving it height, shape, and that dimensional pop. And yep, this is where the hex starts to wink. All right, so to do this, round 2, we're going to do a chain of 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can turn. Why don't we do that? We'll go ahead and turn and then chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And give me a minute. I gotta refresh my memory of what we're doing next. Okay, oops, I just hit my thing. So, all right, so we are actually going to be doing what we call a cluster in each of these stitches. So you're gonna do one here, 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 and here. Okay. So I warned you before we started. Okay. So we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1. So now we have 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to keep going just like that. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now we have 3. Yarn over, insert a hook, yarn over, yeah, you get the point. So I'm going to keep going. So you'll notice that I'm trying to keep them fairly even, but that's not really as important with this one. Because it all will work out in the end. So we'll just keep going. Yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Make sure you don't snag your yarn. We're just going to keep on going, okay? All right, I'm going to keep on going. I know you're getting quite a cast of loops on your hook, and that's okay. All right, so 1 more to go. Yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, this is the fun part. We are going to yarn over and pull through all of those loops. So yarn over, pull through all of those. And this is where I'm going to leave it up to your judgment. I do not like to have that big of a hole, so I like to kind of snug this up a little bit, and then I do my chain of 3. So you're going to chain of 3, and at the top here, this one right here at the top, you're going to insert your hook and do a single crochet. Okay, a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, and in that same hook, that's where we're going to start our next cluster. So this one, we are actually going to insert our hook into here, 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 and here. So you're going to be doing one in each one of those sticks. So be prepared, your hook's going to be full, okay? So we're going to yarn over, insert into that same stitch that we did that single crochet. Remember, we're leaving 2 on the hook. I'm going to the next one. When we go to the next one, we'll have 3 on our hook, and we're just going to keep on going. Now, you see why I had you do the single crochet in the back hump of that, because that's going to make it so much easier for you when you're doing this portion of the round row 2. So, and I will have to say, when you're doing those single crochets, you want to make sure you don't do them too tight, because I did find when I was doing my sampler piece that it really got a little snug, just a little bit. All right, so we're getting quite a few stitches on your hook now, but that's okay. It's okay. It'll stay on there. No need to panic. Not yet. I know that sometimes, you know, it's the end part and you're afraid that you're going to drop a loop, and that's okay, because sometimes you just got to let it go and do it over again. You know, I have done many times where I had to start things over and try it again, even when I was learning how to do this so I could present it to you all. I had to start a whole row over again because I felt like I did something wrong. I actually didn't, but I felt like I did. So, all right, so now we've got all these loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over one more time, unless you want to count it. So we could do that. Let's count them before I yarn over and pull through all of them. So we're going to do 2, 4, 6, oops, hold on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Okay, so I had 17 on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through all of these loops. And I don't know about you, but that's kind of satisfying to do that. All right, so I'm going to snug it up a little bit because I don't like my hole to be very big. There we go. I'm going to kind of snug it up a little bit. All right, then we do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to single crochet in that top stitch. And then we do the whole process all over again. 1, 2, 3, a chain of 3. And we're going to do that puff cluster all over again. So we start at the same stitch that we just did our single crochet in. And we should have another 17 loops on our hook, and once we get to the end of all these stitches. Oh, there we go. Yep. See how that one was a little bit snug? That's because I wasn't paying attention to how tight I was doing that single crochet on that chain of 5. So we're just going to keep on going. And this is definitely not the faint of heart. It did take me a little bit to figure out how to do this. I was like, oof, this one's a tricky one. But, you know, I've been wanting to do it for a long time. It's been kind of just winking at me in my whip pile going, you must do me. You must figure me out. It was taunting me and haunting me, teasing me. All right. And as usual, if you want to keep your puff stitch, you got to keep your tension consistent. You can use stitch markers if the crochet just is distracting, like, you know, sometimes I do. And then don't skip counting. The pattern will catch you slipping. All right, so we're going to go through all of those loops, and I am so satisfied when I do that. All right, so I'm going to snug it up a little bit here. and then we do a chain of 3. So there's 2 and 3, and we're going to do a single crochet in that top. So all right, so this is the last puff cluster, and as you see on the other end, we kind of only did half a one, and that's exactly what you're doing here. You're doing half a one. You're going to do that chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to start our cluster again. Oh, yep, I made it too tight. And you're just going to keep going into every single one of those stitches until we get to that very first single crochet. That's very crucial. You want to make sure you hit every single one of those stitches. Alright, one more, and then we're going to go through all of our loops on our hook. Oop, looks like I snagged that one. And when I say snag, it means I kind of split the yarn, and I don't like that. It doesn't make for a very nice looking thing. So there we go. Alright, so we hit the end of that row. Okay, are you still with me? I hope so. If your fans are fanning and your puffs are puffing, you're crushing it. Now's a good time to hit pause, count your stitches. Trust me, this heck doesn't mess around. Or if you just need to take a break, wiggle your fingers around, do all that good stuff here. Okay, if you've taken a minute to pause and get your bearings, we're going to head into row 3, okay? So row 3, we're going to do a chain of 7. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So for this, actually, you know what? I am going to turn that. So actually, this was actually your first one. So I'm actually going to turn, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm actually going to go backwards. The instructions actually said to chain like the third one from the hook, but I want to make sure, because you need to make sure that you have at least 4 single crochets. So I'm going to start from the bottom, the one that I can see the hump, okay? So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's the one I'm going to start in. So I'm going to single crochet in that. It wound up being, yeah, 1, 2, 3, the third chain from the hook. So there's 1 and 2, 3. And remember, we're doing it in the hump, and make sure that you're letting loose on that single crochet. You don't want it too tight, okay? All right, so now we are going to do a 3 double crochets in that same space that we did the cluster in, okay? So we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to single crochet. We're going to skip that chain of 3 and do a single crochet in the single crochet. And right now, this does look funny, but it won't in the next row. Right now, it just looks like a weird appendage. We won't say what kind of appendage. We're just going to keep it clean, right? Keep it clean. All right, so now the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to do 3 double crochets in this spot right here. We're going to do the 3 double crochets, the chain of 5, 4 single crochets, and then the 3 double crochets, all in that same spot. So there's 1, 2, 3 double crochets, a chain of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to turn that just a little bit so I can see my hump. And we're going to do 4 single crochets in the next chains. I got to play with my yarn back here because it's getting tight and it's not giving me any wiggle room. There's 2, 3, right, so we did 4 single crochets. Now we're going to do those 3 double crochets. 1, and remember it's in that same hole. 2 and 3. We're going to skip that chain of 3 and go into that single crochet and do a single crochet in that spot. Are you kind of starting to see a little bit of a theme here? I know I started seeing it right about here. So we're going to do 3 more double crochets in the next hole. That's what I call it, the next hole. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to flip it so that we can see the hump in the back. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets. 2, 3, and 4. 3 more double crochets in that same spot. 1. Oh, sorry. I'm fighting my yarn. It's real. The fight is real, and it's going to go down, and I'm going to win. There's 3, chain of 3, single crochet in that next single crochet. Oh, we got some dog hair. I'm going to crochet some dog hair in there too while we're at it. Why not, right? Nothing like a little dog hair to add to it, or my own hair. Alright, now we're going to go 3 double crochets in the next one. 1, 2, and 3. And at this point I need to refresh my memory exactly how I need to do this row. Give me one moment. Okay, so I refreshed my memory, and that was where I was supposed to stop. Okay, so now yarn 3. Oh, why don't we stop for just a minute? I was going to tell you. We're going to tell you what the hex is. Okay, so you remember when I said I called this the Winking Hex. Let me show you why. See the little peekaboo through the hole right there in the center? It's not a mistake. That's the stitch's way of saying you did it, you wild crochet wizard. Or, you know, maybe it's mocking you for frogging 3 times. Either way, it winks every single time. And some wink bigger and some wink smaller. So as you can see, this is a small wink, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And, you know, if you want a bigger wink, you just don't tighten it up as much. That's all on you. Okay, we are on to row 4. Okay, so row 4. Oh, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. So at the end of row 3, we're actually supposed to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why I got myself confused. Okay, so now we're going to turn. We do a chain of 3 more. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Now, this is where the fun begins. So we're actually going to be doing the first part of the cluster in these chains. So you know how we did the single crochet and there's 4. So we want to count this from the front to the back. So we are going to do a cluster in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we want to make sure that we're doing our beginning cluster in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th chain from the hook. Okay, so this is going to be where it's fun. Okay, because it does take a little bit of skill to keep this puppy from going all over the place. So we're going to go slow. Okay, so we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that 4th chain from the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to keep doing that in the next one. Yarn over, insert our hook into the loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we're going to keep on going. So we have 2 more to do like that. Maybe, if it'll let me get my hook in there. All right. And the last one, we're going to yarn over, pull up that loop. So now we have 5 loops on our hook. So now we're going to go into the double crochets and keep going just like that. So you'll have to remember at the end of round 3, you're going to do a chain of 5, turn your work, and then do another 3 chains. Or you can just turn your work and chain 8. I mean, that made it a little bit more complicated than it really needed to be, right? So we're going to keep on going. So each stitch all the way around, just like we did in the previous rows. There we go. Gotta give myself some more yarn. I'm fighting with my yarn. At least it's not giving me yarn birth this time. All right, one more to go. Okay, now we're going to crochet through all of those loops. There we go. And you can make the hole bigger, but I like to have my hole a little bit smaller. So I'm going to snug it up, and then we do a chain of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then we do that single crochet at the very top. And then chain of 3. Oh man. I'm really having to fight this yarn today. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do, we're going to insert our first stitch into that first spot, in the same spot we did that single crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Just as a reminder. And we're going to keep on going. I told you it wasn't for the faint of heart, so, and you'll have to, it might take you a minute, but I would go ahead and mark, or, well, I'll put chapter things on there too, so that y'all know where to go back to or rewind to, so that it makes it a little bit easier for you to repeat, because you do repeat rows 2 through 5, and when you end your work, you want to end on an even row. See, once you get to round 4, you actually, I mean, it's really not that bad. You start getting used to having all those loops on your hook. And as you can see, I'm actually holding my loops on there with my thumb. All right, we're almost there to the end. All right, one more yarn over and we're pulling through all of those loops. Oh, got snagged there. Okay, I'm going to tighten it down. Do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. One single crochet at that top, single crochet at the top there. Chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And now that we kind of have more of an understanding what we're doing, so I'm going to back out a little bit. All right, that first chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to keep on going. And my guard dog is on duty, so you might see her, or not see her, but you might hear her in the background. My crochet companion. For some reason, when she hears me talk, she needs to be in the mix of things. And right now she's sitting on the back of my chair and throwing bones at me. Not literally throwing bones, but she just spit her bone out of her mouth. And it landed on the floor. Okay, for some reason this is getting really tight right now. Alright, almost there. Maybe I'll get lucky and she'll just start chewing her bone and forget that Mom exists right now. That would be lovely, right? Alright, one more yarn over. We're pulling through all of those. So satisfying. I know. I find the weirdest things satisfying, right? Alright, then we're going to do 3 chains. Oh, let's just kind of snug that up a little bit more. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then a chain or a single crochet at the top of that top single crochet. Alright, let's spread that puppy out a little bit. And we are almost ready for round 5. Alright folks, one last row. So we're gonna let's just go ahead and turn our work. Chain 1, and we're gonna do a single crochet in that first stitch. And then we're going to do a chain of, 3 double crochets in that hole, for lack of a better word. Actually, that might not be right. Let me double check here. Okay, so 5 is pretty close to 3, so we're just going to do the 3 double crochets in that hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like we did before. Oh. And then we're just going to keep on repeating, just like we did in pretty much similar to round 3. There's 2, 3, and 4. And then don't forget, we're going to do those 3 double crochets again. Do a single crochet in that single crochet at the top, right there. Skip the chain of 3, single crochet there. And then we do a chain. Nope, we don't do a chain. We do a 3 double crochets in the next hole. Skipping that chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the next 4 chains. 2, 3, and 4. 3 more double crochets. 2 and 3. Single crochet at the top of that single crochet. And we're almost done. Almost done. We're going to do 3 double crochets in the top of that 1 in that hole, 2 and 3, and then the chain of 5, 3, 4, 5, the single crochet in those 4 chains. Three and 4. And 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to land on that single crochet at the top. completing our complete circle, right? Well, I guess it's not a circle yet, but completing the first 5 rows of the thing. And then you just repeat rows 2 through 5 until you end on an even row. So in this case, obviously, I'm going to have to land on row 6 in order to be an even row. So there is that. So that is wonderful, right? So we're going to go ahead and look at this again. See, I made a bigger hole right there. That's my little winking hex. Alright, as you can see, the stitch is drama with structure. It's textured, elegant, just the right kind of complicated. Perfect for statement shawls, bold panels, or that moment when you want to crochet something intimidating on purpose. If you survive this stitch with your hook and your sanity intact, give this video a thumbs up. And if you want more juicy chaos stitches like this, hit that subscribe button. I've got more mischief coming your way. Until next time, don't let your puff deflate, and happy crocheting.